Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to It's Online, the part one of In the Soil Multi-Parts Festival, where we have reimagined what we are doing, and we have so many wonderful events online. We are back in action. Last night we had to unfortunately postpone our youth showcase, but don't you worry, we are back on. It will be on Monday night at 7 p.m. Holly Cuse, our technical coordinator, was out of power in the downtown core of St. Catharines, but we are back in action. We have electricity this morning. How are you doing? It's so great to see you all here today. We have a very special program. This morning, we are going to take a little time to spend some time together and make ourselves some beautiful birds and butterfly puppets. I'm so pleased. It's a rainy day outside, but I know it's going to get sunny and it's going to be the perfect time as we have our final birds and butterfly puppets. We can go out into the sunny afternoon and flit and flutter around with them. I've been loving the word flit. Now, if anyone out there can give us a comment and let me know if flit and flittering is really a word, I'd love to know because I'm using it a lot these days. Welcome. So without further ado, really, we have a really great guest with us today to show us how to make these wonderful puppets and make our own little plays and do some storytelling. This guest is the artistic director of Carousel Players. The theater for young audiences, St. Catharines' own, has been here for years and years, bringing wonderful plays to the stage for young audiences. Please join me in welcoming the wonderful Monica Dufault. Woo!
Hello.
Hello, Monica.
That was me. I was splitting there.
I'm just having so much fun in my living room by myself. But I hope you're there.
Yeah, me too. I'm in my living room by myself too.
Oh, great. Well, it's so nice to be together from while apart in our living rooms.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah. So how are you doing today?
Pretty good. Yeah, there's a little downpour there for a minute, but it's lightening up outside, and I think you're right. This afternoon will probably be a great time to go out and hang out outside with the things that we're going to make this morning.
And do you think we should do some flitting and flittering? What are your thoughts on that word?
I certainly have heard flit, fluttering also, flittering. Why not? Why not? Flittering.
Why not?
Sure. Makes sense.
I like it. Well, and it's true. The rain. I went for a little walk this morning. It looked like, oh, it's just going to be cloudy. And then it started to downpour. So I did try a quick blow dry. For those of you at home, it's coming together. Hopefully it'll bring a little bit more body to my hair. Anyways. Well, thanks so much, Monica. We're so pumped. Now, I know for those of you who are joining us and you're ready to make some birds and butterflies, there's a couple of things we're going to grab before we get started. Monica, maybe you can help us let us know what we should go and grab.
So the first thing you're going to need is some kind of stick. So I have these little sticks. They're just little wooden dowels. But also would be good is if you have any skewers at home, like that you would put on the barbecue, just make sure that you either break off the pointy end, like I broke off this pointy end, or you can put tape over the pointy end so that it's not dangerous. If you don't have any of those, you could go outside and find a stick, or you could use a wooden spoon.
I've got these funky things that you can pick a turkey up when you're cooking it.
Oh, yeah.
And so I thought I could use them for now.
Yeah.
And then I can take my butterfly off later.
And you know what? You could also just use a pencil. Like if you don't have any of those other things, if you have a pencil or a pen or something, or I've got a pencil crayon here, that could work too. It's just the handle for your puppet that you need.
Okay, great.
And then you're going to need paper. So you could just use white computer printer paper if you have some of that, or I have some like colored printer paper, some blue here.
Ooh, that's a pretty blue.
Paper. Yeah, construction paper is really, really good. So if you have any construction paper, yeah, look at this, Deanna, you got a whole bunch of different colors. Or I'm going to show you one that could also use tissue paper. So, that if you have tissue paper from a gift bag or something like that, that can also work.
I got
Yay,
that too.
you got that too.
I like saving these when you get them from a gift bag.
I
So you can
know.
reuse them for a gift or making butterflies. Who knew?
Butterflies, exactly. So stick, paper, something maybe to draw an outline with, so a pencil or a pencil crayon or a pen or something.
Okay.
And then you're going to need just a little bit of either tape. I have this fancy dispenser, which I'm very proud of.
That's a really nice dispenser.
Or, thank you. Or just
Professional.
some white glue. And, or like you could probably use a glue stick too.
Okay, that's what I've got.
Yeah, and if you have white glue, sometimes I just put it into like a little paper plate or something so that, and use a Q-tip so I'm not putting too much on at one time.
Do you think like a little white glue will make it easier than a glue stick? Because I do have some. I'll give it a shot with this.
Yeah, glue stick is probably fine. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, oh, and scissors. You're just going to need a pair of scissors to cut out the shape of your bird and or your butterfly. Great.
Hey, I noticed you have blue tissue paper and blue scissors, and I have red tissue paper and red scissors.
Look at that. Did we plan this, Deanna?
We didn't actually. I know all of you, the billions of people tuning in, you're wondering, wow, they are coordinated. It's just true. It's just coming natural this morning.
Yeah, it's just happening. Let me just show you what it's going to look like, what we're going to make. So here's an example of the, there we go, the butterfly puppet. So for this one, I had some origami paper that, if you can see it, it's maybe hard to tell in the light, but it's orange, light orange on one side and just white on the other side, and a skewer. And for this one, this is like the easiest version. So I think we're going to start with this one.
Cool. That looks great.
Should we just start with that one and then we can show the other ones as we go along?
Yeah, that sounds good.
So this is a good practice one. So if you want to get a piece of paper, and ideally something like maybe not construction paper for this one, but I don't know, it could be either one. You want something that's going to have some movement, because that's what makes it look like it's really a butterfly, is that it flaps, it moves.
So does that mean like construction paper might be a little too stiff or?
A little stiff, yeah. So for this one, I'm just going to use regular old white printer paper.
Okay.
And the first thing you want to do is fold it in half. Maybe fold it lengthwise so that you have it looking like that.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to show you my fold here.
Oh, very good.
Like this, Monica?
That is correct, Dee. Yeah, fold it in half lengthwise.
Got it.
Great. Okay, and actually I'm going to turn my computer down too to my tabletop for a second so I can show you how I'm going to draw the shape.
Ooh.
So if you imagine a butterfly and you're drawing one side of the butterfly, so one wing, it kind of might look something like this.
Oh, cool. And so I draw that on the side with the fold?
Yeah, so the fold part is the center of your butterfly wing. That's right.
Okay. Oh, I'm nervous. Okay, I got it. I'm doing it. Woo! And
then I'm just going to cut. Let me see here. I have to lift my screen up so I can see yours. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So then we're going to cut the butterfly shape out, but don't cut where the fold is. That's the part we want to keep together.
Right. Okay.
Okay, I'll tip down and you can see me cut, and then
we're going to make people seasick over here. Okay, I'm going to cut up here.
All right, so I'm cutting out the shape of the butterfly.
So if you're following along, you're just joining us, like Rhiannon, good morning. You can always pause or come back and watch this later to see, but we're making butterfly and bird puppets with Monica this morning, and we're just cutting our pattern for the first one.
The very first one.
Okay.
Okay, so now once you've got it cut out, you can open it up and you can see that it really does look like a butterfly shape now.
Oh, wow. Hey, look, it looks like we're getting someone telling us about flittering.
Oh, yes. What does it say, Dan?
Thanks, Maud. Flittering, move quickly in an apparently random or purposeless manner. for example, if only you would settle down instead of flittering around the countryside. Oh, just like these, that's what a butterfly does. It just flitters around the countryside. Thank you, Maud.
So now, because I just used white paper for this, I'm actually going to take some pencil crayons, or if you have markers, you could use markers. Okay. And I'm going to draw some colors on my butterfly. I mean, there are some butterflies or moths that are just white, but I feel like I want a little bit of a pattern, so I'm going to draw on my butterfly.
Oh, cool. I'm going to use a little marker. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah, absolutely. And might just make that a double line. And you can use any colors that you want. Often butterflies have sort of outlines of shapes on their wings, or they have spots, or they actually look a little bit like a tree leaf sometimes, I've noticed.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. They can sort of camouflage some of them. They look like a leaf, so you can't tell they're there, and then suddenly the plant starts coming alive.
Yeah. Hey, Deanna, have you ever been to the Butterfly Conservatory?
Oh, yeah, I have a few times. It's been a while, and I think obviously right now they're probably not having guests come, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it's so cool in there.
It is. I really like it. I've been a few times, not for a few years now, but I always liked it when the butterflies would land on my shoulder or on my head or something, or my arm. But I know that some people don't like that at all. Like my daughter did not like that at all. No.
Did she sort of like freak out?
She did freak out, yes.
It's I guess thinking about it, they're so pretty and they look so delicate, but I guess sometimes up close they do have that, their body part is a little bit like creepy crawly, so I can understand.
Yeah. So how are you doing with the coloring?
I've kind of got my outline almost. I'm just going to do a few dots, but you feel free to go ahead and I can catch up here.
I'm just going to draw a little bit of the body of the butterfly on the center here, because if you've ever looked at a butterfly, they have a long, skinny body that their wings are attached to.
Right.
So that's what I'm drawing. And I mean, we could also draw on the other side so that you have a butterfly with pattern on both sides.
Oh, yeah, right.
So I'm going to quickly draw a little bit of the same pattern on the other side of my butterfly's wings.
Isn't it so cool how butterflies come to be?
Yeah, it is really cool. It is. You mean the whole metamorphosis thing?
That's right, the metamorphosis thing. Great word for the day. Metamorphosis is like a change, right?
That's right, yeah.
And flittering is when you're just going for it in the countryside. Yeah, but just thinking of a little caterpillar, and then this thing is like stuck in a little cocoon, and then it just comes on out.
That's right.
Okay, I got to do my other side. Wait a minute.
So while you're doing your other side, I'm gonna explain a little bit about how we're going to attach this kind of butterfly to the stick.
Okay.
So because this one is, what we want to try to do is make sure that the wings can still flap. So we don't want to put too much tape or glue on it, or it won't be able to move its wings. So I'm actually going to use tape for this one. Grab my tape. And I only want a piece that's just a little bit shorter than the body of my butterfly.
Okay.
And actually, okay, hold on one second. Stepping back for one moment, I'm going to take a Sharpie and color in. I'm going to color the stick black at the end. So when I stick it to the butterfly, it looks like the body.
Oh, that's great. I've got to get myself some of those skewers. I ran out, so I can't really color my my wild silver metal thing.
I think yours is going to look more like a body anyway, because it's
already
silver body. Yeah. I'm almost done. You could use, if you had black tape, you could also use black,
Oh, yeah.
tape. That's
when you're getting quite professional about it, especially.
Yeah.
Because what can you do with a puppet after? You can make a puppet play, right?
That is right. And, you know, we use a lot of puppets at Carousel Players.
Yeah, I've seen some.
Stories.
All sorts of sizes, too. Huge puppets I've seen you guys use before.
Yeah, we use gigantic puppets in The Incredible Adventures of Mary Jane Mosquito that were designed by the wonderful Clelia Scala, who I think is working on In the Soil. Isn't she doing something?
Yes, she is. She and Alexa Fraser, they've developed some puppets that are going to have a correspondence through letters. Actually, next Sunday we'll get to meet those puppets, and they will have correspondence through the whole summer, writing letters to each other.
That's very exciting. Okay, I'm lifting mine up now so that you can sort of see how it works.
Oh, wow.
I just taped the stick, the end of the stick, to the center, the fold line of the butterfly, and you want it to be folding up and away from the stick.
So up and away, and you just put a little piece of tape.
Yeah, and you know what? You kind of want to put the tape onto the stick first.
Gotcha.
So put the tape on the stick and sort of wrap it a little bit around the stick and then attach it to the wings. It sounds a little bit complicated, but what that allows you to do is to have a bit more movement in your butterfly.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm close.
You're close. Yeah, that's it. So you only need a little bit. There you go. Yeah.
Now, I think I made my wings a little thin, but look, it's doing it.
It's doing it. You're flitting. We are flitting.
We can't wait to see if you're making butterflies at your place and you're flittering them around the countryside of your living room. You can send pictures of your butterflies and what you're working on. You can send them to the In the Soil Facebook Messenger, and we can show them if you'd like to share. Oh, this is so cool.
It works well, doesn't it? Yeah. It's very simple, but and then you have to think about, so how does a butterfly fly? And if you get a chance to watch one, they will sort of flap for a moment, and then they'll kind of glide and then flap and glide.
Right.
I'll back up a little bit. Yeah. So there we go. We have butterfly. That's the very, very simplest butterfly you can make.
Oh, thanks, Monica. I'm just so satisfied. We're making more, but I'm just so excited about this one.
Yeah, I like this one too. And when the stick is not too heavy, it also makes it's easy to portray your butterfly as being a light little creature that is flitting and flittering about the garden.
It can land on my arm.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I think next time when I make this style one, I might go a little bit more wide on my wings.
Ah, yeah.
Get a little bit more movement. But I love it.
I'll show you another one that I made earlier. This one's a little more complicated. So I used construction paper for this one. Same thing though, I just cut out the butterfly shape with the fold in the center.
Right.
And then I glued some colored tissue paper on, so this is another way that you could do it. And I did that on both sides.
Oh, and that looks so pretty and realistic.
Yeah, I think it turned out well. And then I glued on a body with even antennas on it.
Oh, wow. Can you put those a little close? Let's see those antennas. Look at that, everybody.
Can you see that?
Did you make that out of construction paper?
Yeah, I just cut this whole center part out of construction paper with the antennas.
Wow, words today. Antennae.
Yeah, and then I glued these colored pieces of tissue paper on. But what I discovered is the gluing these on made it quite a bit thicker. So it doesn't flutter in quite the same way as the other ones. This is more like a slower.
It's more like a pizza oven thing that you can get a pizza with that butterfly.
But it's still really fun. And, you know, you could make one like that too if you wanted to get a bit more fancy with the design of your butterfly.
I love that. Looks great. And I remember, that's reminding me, I think when I was younger, we made butterflies, but you could somehow cut the hole out of the construction paper and then put your tissue paper behind it so you see through it a little bit?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, I've seen that before too. You could do that for sure.
That's getting super high tech.
This is an example of one that you could try, but this one does take a little bit more time because you have to let the glue dry before you can really flitter it around.
Of course. I really like those wings too. You got really detailed with a little bit more.
Yeah, with the cutouts. But here's another butterfly that is really easy to make. And this one I love because it's made out of tissue paper. And then I just used some construction paper that I glued on in the center to be the body. And the wings move so gracefully.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's really fun. So this one you can't fly this one quickly like the other ones because then the tissue paper kind of gets all tangled up.
Right, might rip.
It doesn't look so good. But this one flies really slowly in a beautiful way. So we're going to look at how to make this one, okay?
Oh, good. I really want to make one like that. That looks so pretty.
So the first thing you need is some tissue paper. So I'm going to make this one's pink, but I'm going to make a blue one for my next one. And the wings for this one can be bigger than the ones that we just made because we want them to have that floaty feeling. Yeah.
It looks like we practiced. That was choreography we had together there, Monica.
It looked like we were.
We are butterflies. Never mind.
Right. We are the butterflies. So I'm just noticing the tissue paper I found in my closet is a little bit crumpled and wrinkled, but I think it'll be okay. So we fold it so that you can cut it out just like we did the other one. So I'm putting up sort of one layer over. I'll just put my screen down so people can see what I'm doing. And you know what, for this one, I'm not even going to draw the shape that I want to cut out. I'm just going to go freehand.
Wow, that is confidence, Monica.
I just want a sort of really curvy shape. That's all I'm looking for. But we want the body. So think about how long your body's going to be of the butterfly. We only want it to be maybe this long so that we have room to hold the stick.
Right, but then your wings could go beyond.
Yeah.
Now, I might use my pencil. I'm not quite as confident because this is my first time, so I might do a little outline myself.
Good idea.
Okay.
I think I have a lot of tissue paper. The whole screen is just tissue paper now.
This is so cool. So those of you, you might just be joining in. Again, I'll let you know we're making butterflies and birds. This is our second puppet. And you can always rewatch this video later to see the first puppet we made out of paper. Okay. And now we're moving on to some tissue paper. But you can still use paper if you want to just do another one, if you don't have tissue paper.
That's right. If you don't have tissue paper, you can just use regular paper. You could even use construction paper for this one.
Okay. Cutting tissue paper is a little tricky, isn't it? It's very delicate.
Tricky. I was just fixing where I sort of got a bit jaggedy with my cutting.
Jaggedy, another great word. Maud, if you're still watching, if jaggedy is a word, please let us know.
We're counting on you to check. All right.
I think jagged is. Anyway.
Jagged for sure. Okay, so here I think I've got, oh, this one's quite big. I wonder if that's going to be too big. We'll see. Let me find my stick.
Oh, great shape. And that's a beautiful blue.
Yeah, I like the blue. And you've got the beautiful red.
Okay. So, I hope this isn't too big too. We'll see.
Yeah, if it feels like it's too big, easy enough to cut it smaller. So I didn't end up cutting the end off this stick. I'm just going to break it so I don't have a pointy end.
I think I'm going to go get a pencil for this one instead of this metal skewer thingy I have.
Yeah, sure. So I'll just lift up my screen so everybody can see. So now I've cut out my butterfly shape. I think this might be the top for me. That looks like the top of the wings. And I've left this fold in the middle is maybe, you know, if we're talking centimeters, maybe about 4 or 5 centimeters in the middle. So now what I'm going to do is attach my wings. And because tissue paper and glue, I only have the liquid glue, sometimes that can just dissolve the tissue paper. So I'm just going to use tape for the attaching of the wings to the stick. So let me see, I've got some tape here. I'll get a piece that is about the length of my body of my butterfly. or maybe just a little bit longer, a bit shorter, I mean. And I'm going to take the stick. This is what I mean by wrapping it a little bit around the stick. So I'm going to place the tape against the stick. You can sort of see what that looks like. And then without actually closing the tape all the way, so maybe put your finger in the middle so that doesn't happen, but just press it along the sides of the stick a bit so it's kind of wrapping a little bit around the stick. And then once you've got that sort of wrapped around your stick a little bit, then you're going to attach it to the wings. So I'll just tip you down for a second so you can see. And I'll put it against the tissue paper. And this is the tricky bit, because if you get it in the wrong place, it's almost impossible to lift tape off of tissue paper. There. Okay, so now I've lift this up again and I can show you. I've got the wings. Ooh, this is, when the wings get bigger with the tissue paper, it flies even slower. And this one has a little bit of a crease in it from previous present wrappings. If you had new tissue paper, it might be even better. Great, so now you've got the tissue paper attached to the stick. The next thing I did when I made my other one was I made some strips out of black construction paper to be the body on each side. So I'm going to do that now. So I've got my butterfly attached to the stick, and now I'm just going to grab some black construction paper that I have here. And I'll measure, I'm going to tip you down again so you can see how I do this. I'll measure how long I need the body to be. So I just want the body to be as long as the part of the stick that's attached to the wings. So I will use a pencil for that. And I'll just measure really quickly, how long do I want the body to be? About that long. And then move my butterfly over. So now I'm going to cut out two like that. So I'll just show you, if I cut one strip that is about the length that I need. And then I'm going to round the edges off so it looks more like the body of a butterfly. And I might make it just a little thinner than I originally cut so it doesn't get in the way of the flapping. So it's like a really long, skinny oval. Looks kind of like that. And then I'll just trace around that one and make another one exactly the same. How are you doing there, Deanna?
Oh, pretty good. I'm working on my curving my edges here. It got a little funky, but I think I got it.
So I'm just cutting out the second one.
So we have two to go on either side of our stick, I guess. Is that the idea?
Yeah, we have one on one side and one on the other. That's it. And actually, for this butterfly, it kind of helps with the tissue paper to have that little barrier in the center so it keeps the wings separate a bit when you're making it fly.
Right.
Yeah, I figured that out when I was inventing it. Okay, so let me just move these little bits of paper out of the way.
Oh, your long ovals look very slender.
Very slender.
Mine almost could be like caterpillars before they metamorphose.
Yeah, well, they can be whatever you want them to be. There's no rules here. But for this, I will use glue. And I think probably your glue stick will be fine. I'm just
Okay.
a little bit of this white glue that I have.
So a little glue on our bodies.
Yeah, and just try not to get the glue on the wings, on the tissue.
I don't know if you can see, Monica. I used a little pencil, so
Oh yeah.
It's a little thicker than your doweling, but I think it's still going to work. I'm going to try it.
Yeah. So actually, making your caterpillar, the body of the butterfly, a bit fatter would be good for those wings.
Right.
Okay, so I got one stuck on here. I'm going to turn it over and stick the other side of my butterfly's body on. And again, I'm using a Q-tip to put the glue on so that I don't get it all over.
That is a great idea. I feel like every time I use white glue like that, it gets all over my hands, which is kind of fun because when it dries, you can peel it off.
That's true.
It gets very messy, especially with tissue paper.
Yeah, white glue and tissue paper kind of, well, they can either turn solid,
right,
or they can stick everything together.
Those of you at home, you know what we're talking about here? The white glue and tissue paper situation.
All right, here is my tissue paper butterfly.
Oh, cool.
So
I'm surprised my glue stick even worked on the pencil, so that's cool.
Good. That's great. Yeah, so this one, I would say maybe I might have made the wings just a little bit too big, potentially. But it does have this beautiful floating quality. Oh, yours looks great, Deanna.
Thank you. I love it.
You know, it makes me think of like, if you ever see a moth, one of those big moths that come out at night, the Luna moth or whatever it's called.
Yes. Coming. Yeah, so I see what you mean. You can't really get flitting it because it's too delicate. This one is just...
You have to kind of let the wings turn over before you move it.
This butterfly, if I saw a butterfly this big in my backyard, it's so amazing.
I don't know. I've never been to South America, but I understand there are some really big butterflies in South America. So maybe someone might send us a message about the biggest butterfly they've ever seen.
Yeah. This is so great. I see some new guests coming. This is our second butterfly we've made with construction paper. We made a first one with just some regular old paper that we colored, and it's a bit more flitty. It's hard to do both. I feel like if you're a drummer, you could do a fast and a slow at the same time.
I know. It is hard to focus. Like
any drummers out there, or or what's the word for if you would like to be your budding drummer?
Yes, that's right.
Feel free to share us your video of your butterfly.
Yeah, actually, I can't really do that one with my left hand as well as my right hand.
It's hard, isn't it?
We've got two kinds of butterflies.
This is so great.
The one out of regular paper, one out of tissue paper. And
I
then
was going to ask Monica, just before you had little antennas, so if we wanted to, we could add those on here like you did.
Yeah, like on this one, you can add antenna. That's right.
Cool.
With this, I would just be careful with the tissue paper one. If you put antenna on it, it might get caught in the tissue paper flying, you know?
Oh, yes, of course. You don't want little...
Cut the wings in such a way that that doesn't happen.
Gotcha. Good tip. Okay.
All right. So butterflies. Cool. The next puppet I wanted to show everyone how to make today is a bird puppet. So this is what the bird puppet could look like.
Oh, wow.
So for this one, I'll just turn it this way so you can see the shape of the wings. I did the same thing. I cut the wings out of one piece of construction paper. So this is just, you fold it in half and then you draw a wing shape and cut it out so that the crease is in the middle where the stick is. Mm-hmm. So that's for the wing part. And then for the body part, again, this was my prototype. So I ended up cutting it in two pieces, but it could be cut on a fold also. So you would just draw the shape of the bird's face and its belly and its back, and then put that against the fold of the paper and cut it out like that.
Oh, great. And it's almost like a boat shape or like a canoe.
Yeah, exactly. And then the beak is a separate piece of orange construction paper that I glued on. And then I made the tail with just some, a piece of construction paper that I cut in little strips into so it has like a feathery tail.
Feathers.
And then I taped that on. So for this one, I just taped it all together except for the nose. I think I glued that on. But you could glue it. So let's start by getting a piece of paper that we want to use for this. How are we doing?
Oh, I love it. That looks so great. Okay. What color bird shall we make? What color bird are you going to make at home? We're dying to know. Let us know.
Yeah, tell us what color you're making.
Oh boy. That's a nice blue bird.
I might do a yellow one. I don't have a yellow bird, so maybe I have yellow construction paper.
I was thinking of going kind of sparrow realistic on the brown, but nice. I don't know.
You could always do the body one color and the wings a different color, you know?
Okay, I'll try that. What are we starting with, wings or body?
So let's start with the wings. So for the wings, we want to take the paper and we're going to fold it in half this way. So in half, what do you call it?
Got it.
Folding it in half.
Okay.
You might even need 2 pieces of paper for this bird, now that I'm thinking of it. I think I did the body out of one piece and the wings out of another piece. So just so you know.
Okay, so if you want to do the same color, you need 2 of the same color.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'm going brown and pink, so I think I'm good. I got 2 pieces ready.
All right, so now that you've got your paper folded, I'm going to tip my screen down also. You want to draw the shape of the wings. So for these ones, I'll bring my bluebird back for a second. You can see that I kind of made this swooping shape, right? Mm-hmm. But you want about the same length that is on the fold as you had for the butterfly, maybe a little bit longer. So about 3 inches or 6 or 7 centimeters.
Okay.
So
and that will attach to our stick later.
Yeah, that's the part that will attach to your stick. So here's my folded edge. So I'm going to draw my wings going this way, and I swoop them up and down.
Woo!
And then back up.
Swoop them up and down, and you made a little point.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And then up, sort of, and then you want it to be only about that long.
That's right. I might have made this a bit too short. Maybe I'll just lengthen that a bit.
Okay, me too.
So now I'm going to cut them out.
And so then again, we're doing it on that fold. Okay.
Yeah, we want to leave the fold. Don't cut on that part because that's going to be how the wings flap open and closed.
How does this cutting sound at home? Is this like an ASMR moment with the scissors? Can you hear the scissors?
I can hear my scissors. All right, so I've made some. Actually, you know what, Dee? Can I just show you something? I just realized this. It looks a bit like a giant mustache.
It does. So this is a 2-in-1. We're learning how to make wings and big mustaches for costumes. Let's see what mine looks like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, welcome to my barn. I'm going to show you my horse. That's what mine is.
I can't wait to see your horse. I think you have to make the mustache move while you talk. Hello there.
Hey, well, hey, who knew we'd be doing birds, butterflies, and flitting mustaches? How fun is that?
That's pretty fun.
If you've got your wings ready and you can make a mustache, please send us a picture to our private messenger.
We would like to see
in the soil.
Please. Okay, so I have a second piece of yellow paper over here somewhere.
So now we're moving on to the body. I'm making a brown body.
Okay.
Okay. This is a very boring mustache.
I liked your pink one better, I have to say. Right, so the body. I'll just show you this bird again so we can remember what the shape is. And you know what? There is no right or wrong. You want the length of the bird from the head to the end of the body to be, I would say, no more than half your stick long, so that you have a bit of room for you to hold on to the stick still.
Right.
So we're going to draw from the head to the tail will be along the fold, and then we'll just make a little curve for the bottom of the head and then a bigger curve for the body. So I'm going to fold. I'll just bring this down again. I'll fold my piece of paper in half. I'll go this way.
The long way, gotcha. Okay.
And I'm going to put the fold away from me so I can see, oh, that's the top of my bird. And I will just draw a little bump for the head. And then the body. And go up to the top. So that's
okay, so it's like a little canoe with a bump on the end, let's say.
Canoe with a bulge, that's right.
Okay, I think I'm going to start with the smooth side going along. Ooh, and then a little bump for the head.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And so now I'm going to cut out my bird shape. And once you get it cut out and you can sort of see, maybe you might want to adjust a little bit. That's okay. Like I think I might have made the head a little bit too big, so I'm going to make that a bit smaller. So that's sort of what it's going to look like.
Okay. It's almost like a little caterpillar or turtle.
Oh, yes, it is. That is true. Now I'm going to find one of my sticks over here. And for this, I will glue it together.
Oh, like both sides of your bird.
Glue on both sides and stick it together like that. So I might move it so that the end of the stick doesn't go right to the very end, so it doesn't stick out. And then I'm going to get some of my Q-tip glue. Ooh, it's drying out a little bit. Ha ha ha.
So you don't want your stick sticking out at the end, or you
No,
do?
Not from the head. You don't want the stick
Right.
on the end of the head. That's
well,
right.
and my stick would look really funny because it's like a turkey lifter upper. So
that would look funny.
if anyone knows what the word is for these turkey lifter upper thingies, no.
It's called a flit.
Wouldn't that be neat?
It would be very funny. Okay, so I got quite a bit of glue on that, and I'm going to stick it together.
Now I realize, so I can reuse this. I can just kind of pull mine out and put it back in. Hopefully it stays when I fly my bird, but we'll see. Maybe I'll put a little tape for reinforcement.
That's a good idea. Okay, so now I've got the bird's body on the stick. And as I'm looking at it, I feel like I made it a bit too bulgy here. I think birds are a little slim. They taper off more towards the back of their body. So I'm going to just trim it just a little bit so it looks a bit more birdy. There. All right, so now we've got the body. How are we doing for time, by the way, Dee?
We're good. We've got about 18 minutes.
Okay, that we will be able to get this done, no problem. So now I've got the body, and now I'm going to grab a little bit of, I have some orange construction paper, so I'm just going to cut a beak out of the orange construction paper.
Right.
So I'll show you remember what my bluebird, what the beak looked like?
I love that little beak.
Yeah, and I just cut it, again, fold it in the middle, and then, so it's the same on both sides. So I'll just do a little fold. In this orange construction paper. And you could make this out of any color. You know, it doesn't have to be orange because birds have different colored beaks.
True. I happen to have orange, so I'm just following suit here.
Sure.
So this is like a little snowman nose in a way.
It is, yeah. A snowman carrot beak.
Now, what side are you keeping your fold?
So the fold will be on the top edge.
Okay, gotcha.
Can you see that? I cut a little triangle shape.
Yep.
I didn't go all the way through, so I'm going to just finish cutting it.
Oh, my beak is quite large for my bird, but I like it.
Well, different birds have different size beaks. That's true.
I'll give it a little trim.
So now I'm going to stick the beak onto the nose of my bird. How did I do this before? Let me just have a, oh, right. I did make this a little bit more rounded at the top. So you might want to, if you have space, you can trim the top of the bird's head a little bit so it's more rounded. It will look a bit more bird-like. And then I'm going to glue the beak on like that. I'll get a bit more glue. How's yours coming together, Dee?
I think maybe I put my head. No, your head. Is this looking right for my head? Is it supposed to hang down like that?
Yeah, it
Okay.
really does hang down a little bit. I trimmed it a little bit so it wasn't quite so.
Okay, gotcha. Right. And now I'm just, well, my bird's going to be fast. He's going like a razor's edge.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And my beak is pointing down a little bit the way I stuck it on now. So that's sort of what my beak looks like.
I love birds and beaks. It's one of my favorite things to draw or, you know, make out of construction. Oh, it's my first time doing it this way. Hey, look, it's very, it's really heading somewhere.
It is. It's very forward centered, yes. So now we've got the beak and the body of your bird. And now I'm going to put some eyes on. So I have a Sharpie. I'm just going to use a black marker to put eyes on. Or you could cut out little circles out of construction paper, like black construction paper, and glue them on. That's what I did for this bird. I glued little black dots of construction paper on.
Fancy.
I feel like I can just draw these ones maybe, possibly.
Me too. So you just put a little circle like
yeah, little eye circle.
You know, the more you add, like we had added the beak and now the eye, and my bird is getting such personality.
Yes.
I got to think of a name.
Ah, yeah, me too.
Oh, you got to make sure kind of you get your eye in the same spot on either side.
Yeah, I think I maybe didn't, but this is the one profile, and here's the other profile.
He's going.
Okay, I'm going to lift this screen up again for a second. So now we're going to attach the wings that we made already, aka mustaches.
Oh yeah.
To our bird. So we want to have the fold going at the bottom.
Right.
And then we're going to figure out where exactly on the bird's body does it make sense. So mine looks like it might fit a little bit closer to the head than the tail.
It's a very exciting part.
It is. So for this part, I'm going to suggest using tape for the wings.
Okay.
It's just a little bit easier to get that in the right place, and then we can use them right away too.
So I could put like a bit of tape on this side and this side.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'll put my screen down, you can see it. So I just lay the wings out with the fold side up, and I'm placing my bird where I want the wings to go. And I'm putting some tape on one side.
Oh, you're doing that funky pressing in thingy.
Yeah, so that, oops, I made that piece a bit too long. And then I'll turn it around so you can all see. So then I'm putting the tape on the other side. And
did you just make this up, Monica? Like, or did you learn this somewhere?
You know what? I did kind of just make this up.
That's so cool.
I did.
Things we can do on our own.
Yeah, totally. I did make some birds like this one time when I was doing Carousel's summer theater school. But they were a little different than this. This was a kind of new invention of that. All right, so I'm going to lift my screen up again so you can sort of see. Hey, Deanna, look at the bird.
Oh, wow. Now it's kind of neat. My turkey lifter upper thingy actually has a thing that I could really.
Oh, yeah, you can hold
it doesn't really help, actually. Never mind. This is so cool.
So the one thing we might want to add to our bird is a tail. So for my bluebird that I made before, I just took a bit of construction paper and sort of like how would you describe that? A rectangle that's a little narrower at one end, and you know, that thing. And then I cut some strips into it. So we could make a tail like that. Or here's another idea that I just had this morning. I have some curling ribbon.
Ooh.
And I think I'm going to try making a tail out of this, but I'll show you how to make both, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have any ribbon, but so I'll do the construction paper version. We'll be able to see both.
Okay, so I'm just going to show you, this one's really fast. So I'll show you what, if you wanted to make a ribbon version of it, you could just take some curling ribbon and then tape it on to your bird. And then it has like a fluttery long tail.
Oh, cool. What a great idea.
So that's one way. But let's see if we were making one like the other bird had. So I have some yellow construction paper left over here. I'm just going to cut, I think it's about 3 or so inches long, about that much. And then I'm going to cut it into a shape, like if you think of a bird's tail, they're usually narrower at one end and longer at the other. So kind of like that.
So it's like a bit of a wonky triangle, or like a shape of a vase.
Like the shape of a vase, or a paintbrush, sort of, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, I think I might make it just a little narrower, because then it can fit onto the bird. There we go. So you've got your shape like that. Now you're just going to take the scissors and cut really thin strips, but not all the way to the bottom.
Ooh, careful with your thin strips, everyone.
That's right. And they might get, like you might make them different lengths. I've sort of made them different lengths.
It's like we're making little hairs.
Yeah.
Or feathers. Well, I guess.
That's right.
I was thinking, Monica, you made your tail just, you were like, oh, I've got some ribbon here. And I was looking, and I've got this bag of really delicious nuts. Do you think I could make a tail?
I think that might be a bit heavy for the puppet.
Yeah, okay, right. So you can't make it out of anything.
Not anything, no, but pretty much anything. Yeah, and your tail could be a different color than the rest of your bird. Or you could even make like multicolored, take little strips and glue them together and make it multicolored.
Oh, that's a neat idea. Now, I think maybe because we did everything on a fold, I did mine on a fold, so I've got extra.
I see. You don't need well, you could do it. Sure. Keep it like that.
You think it might be too heavy?
Yeah.
I think I'll cut that.
It might just be an extra special tail. So what I'm for this part, you could glue it on so that it's just on one side or the other of the body of the bird. So right at the bottom of its body, I'm just going to glue it onto one side. So I'll just bring my screen down again for a second and put a little glue. You just want to put the glue on the part where you haven't made any cuts rather.
Right. Okay.
Okay, and then figure out what is the angle that you want your bird's tail to be at. So what looks good to you for your bird?
It is a question I think about daily. What angle do I want my bird's tail? Oh, look, it's happening. How's your bird at home?
Yeah, I'd love to see pictures of someone's bird. Okay, I'm going to lift this up again now. Boom.
This is a big old tail.
That's great. Oh, Deanna, that looks wonderful.
Yours looks so great too. Oh, I just love it.
And what's so fun is that this really simple way of constructing the wings really does feel like the way a bird flies. So that if you start to think about, I'm just going to back up my chair a little bit so you can see more, but if you start to think about, if I'm the puppeteer and my job is to make this bird come to life, how do I do that? Well, part of it is that the bird never really stops moving. There's always a little bit of movement to it. And you've got the wings to help you, but you can also move the body through the air because you see some, depending on the kind of bird, they sort of swoop as they fly.
Yeah, I could see my bird as a real diver.
Yeah, that's right. And they don't always have to flap. There could be a moment where they just soar through the air, right?
I'm on my way.
So, hey, Deanna, how about we make up a story? Because that's what I think is so fun about these. Now that you've got some puppets, you can make your own story at home.
Okay. So I guess I'm going to name, what should I use, my butterfly or my bird?
Well, we could do, like, how about we do a little tiny bird story? Like, you can take turns telling the story, and then we'll do a little tiny butterfly story.
Okay.
And look, I even made a prop tree to be in my story here. Can you see it?
Oh, that's so great.
I just folded some construction paper and made a tree outline. So I'm going to pretend my bird is flying.
You've got a tree for the story. This is like we've got set props, we've got costumes.
Exactly.
My bird's going to land on some nuts.
Oh,
good. Okay. So my bird's name, well, I'll introduce myself. How about that? In your story. Okay. Ooh. Oh, hello there.
Ooh, hello.
My name is Rocket. What's your name?
My name is Edgar.
Well, Edgar, I'm in a big rush. I'm trying to get a birthday present for my sister. Do you know of a berry tree nearby where I can get some delicious berries for my sister?
Oh, well, as it happens, I believe there's a tree right here.
Oh, well, could you throw me a few berries? For some reason, I just can't seem to get there.
As a matter of fact, I'll land on top of this tree and I will peck off some berries and pooh, throw them to you.
Oh, thank you.
Pooh, throw them to you.
Well, these berries look a lot like crayons.
Pooh, there you are.
Well, these are the most delicious. My sister will love them.
Pooh.
Do you mind if I take a whole basket?
You have a whole basket full over there yet?
I do. I'm almost there. I'm just filling my basket. It looks like cake, but it is a basket. Maybe just two more, if you don't mind.
Peck, 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 peck. Pooh! Peck, 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 peck. Pooh!
Oh, thank you, Edgar. You saved the day. You know, as a return the favor, I would love to show you a very special dance.
Yes, I would love to see your special dance. Please show me.
Let me just put my basket down. This dance is called the flitter flutter.
Wow, my goodness, I like the somersault part.
Why, thank you. I wish I could give you more in return, but I must get these berries to my sister. It was so nice to meet you, Edgar.
Nice to meet you too, and say hello and happy birthday to your sister.
I will. Ta-ta!
Ta-ta!
Oh, I want to make a tree after this too. Get a whole puppet play going.
Well, I just used some construction paper and I folded it in 3 so that it's kind of like a triangle shape.
Oh, great. So then it can stand on its own.
Yeah, and then I stuck some, I cut out a green treetop part, and then I taped it to a roll of tape so it had a bit more weight at the bottom.
So you might have to take that off if you need your duct tape.
I won't need the
you
duct
know what? Perfect for the time being. Well, Monica, this has just been so much fun. I know all the folks at home who have joined. We've made butterflies. We made delicate butterflies and birds. And honestly, this is just so great. I hope you enjoyed making birds and butterflies with us. And if not, feel free to rewatch this video. Monica's showing us all the ropes, what you can do with just some sticks and paper. Wow. And we made a puppet play to boot. So.
And you did.
Well, before we do sign off, I just want to thank you so much, Monica.
It was my pleasure. It was great to be here.
This has been so great. What a way to spend a Saturday. Where are we? Saturday morning.
Saturday, yeah. Yep.
And for those of you, I'm sure a lot of you out there are familiar with Carousel Players, but do visit their website. There's a lot of really great summer camps that are going to be delivered online this summer.
Right.
For kids. What age, Monica?
We have 10 up to 10, so like 4 or 5 to 10, and maybe also check our social media because we'll be able to bring out messaging more quickly that way.
Amazing. Well, and if you need messages to get out there, I think my little bird friend here could help deliver those too.
And Edgar too. Yeah.
So we have a special video that Monica made of her playing with her butterfly and birds, and it's going to be set to the music of Euclid, which is a local musician, Alex Ring, who we've enjoyed at our festival. And so we're going to sign off and play this very lovely video for you. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
Thank you, Holly, backstage.
Thanks, Holly.
And we'll see you. We've got a program this evening with the worst pop band ever, worst photo booth ever at 7 p.m. and lots more coming up tomorrow into next week. So again, thanks for coming. See you soon. Bye. Bye.